Okay, guys, if you saw that last video, then you know that we're ranking Pokemon music. This video right here is where I essentially am ranking Pokemon music based off what I think, what my nostalgia is telling me, you know? Then we're gonna do a deep dive and listen to every single soundtrack in the series to determine what I actually feel, how I actually feel about the Pokemon soundtracks. Keep in mind, as I rank these, this is relative. Even if I think a Pokemon soundtrack is mid, then I still probably like it more than a generic game soundtrack. Maybe, actually, I don't know. I thought my brain for Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet is not fond of most, minus the battle themes. We like the battle themes. We like the battle themes and certain other themes there, but we'll talk about that when we get there. So, don't get too mad. And if you are, whatever. Yeah, I'm standing my ground on that. I almost apologized, and then my mom told me I don't gotta apologize. What we're going to do is predict. If I'm wrong, if I find out that I'm wrong, I'm gonna give myself a stern talking to, right? Cubone. This is just a prediction right here. I could be wrong. If you want to know what games I'm considering eligible, then please watch that video. That's right here or here. I don't know. Maybe it's in the top corner where certain things are, where I explain the process for what we're actually trying to do. And maybe if you're lucky, we'll already have the Gen 1 ranking video up, or maybe we have a few up at this point. I don't know. Or by the time you're watching it, I don't know. We'll find out. But let's do this. I guess the first thing we have to get out of the way is Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. I said Mune. We're putting that in haven't played, because I have not played them. We will still be ranking that soundtrack. Maybe we'll try to get to it before we actually get to that soundtrack. Maybe. Also, like, again, if it's a third game, like, I wish they had all three games together, but that's fine. I think the OGs are going to be a solid A. There are a lot of things that I think are 1000% outshadowed by, like, even just Gen 2. And, like, Gen 2 and beyond. But as close as Gen 2, there's so much that improved between that point and their first go at Pokemon, right? The soundtrack is one of those things that I think stands the test of time. Not the best in the series, but there are so many classics in there. Classic bangers that we are going to remember forever, and I'm sure a lot of that love definitely comes from nostalgia, but the nostalgia of them being actually good tracks. So I think that they are going to hold up very well. Where's Beth and where's... Do we even have Crystal? We do. I'm gonna put them together. This is an S tier. For those that do not know me, Pokemon Crystal was my first Pokemon game ever. I love it to death. That soundtrack is one of the most important soundtracks I've ever heard. One of the most classic soundtracks that will ever exist in my brain. There is no way this is not an S tier for me. All right, so let's keep going. I think Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald are going to be in about the same place, maybe right behind. Maybe I should... no, third game before. Outstanding soundtrack yet again. Oh, and we know it's Trumpet City here. We're finally on the Game Boy Advance, so we have a new sound chip to work with. So many more iconic themes have been added to the mix. Growing up and playing Pokemon, this was like the first like storm of it right here, you know? It's for my generation. Everyone was playing Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, you know? Not every single person had a Game Boy Color, where we're playing the old or we're playing games pre-Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, but when this game came out, when Ruby, Sapphire came out, took the world by storm, took my first grade by storm right here. So again, iconic tracks. Yet again, I love a lot of these about as much as I love the Generation 2 tracks. I can imagine this being my second favorite soundtrack. I guess we do Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum next. I kind of still want to say yes. Maybe it's a strong A. Maybe I make a differentiator right now and I say it's a strong A. Let's not get crazy. Let's not get super crazy. Let's move these here for now. Still an iconic soundtrack. I remember not thinking it was as good at, like, if I was making this as a kid, I think I might put these here as a kid. It's insane how much these kind of pour through your veins years later. Again, we're on the Nintendo DS now, so again, it feels like there's been another level up in terms of just how much they can put into these compositions. There are definitely tracks here that I know people love to death that I don't think are as good as the world says, but I do think they're very good, and I do think there are, again, some of the strongest tracks in the series in here, just as, you know, I could probably say that about most of these games, right? But again, another iconic soundtrack, another one that feels really nostalgic. If Ruby and Sapphire and Emerald were big for my childhood, Diamond and Pearl was like the biggest game. Diamond and Pearl was the biggest game in my elementary school. I feel like that's when it was just like, oh yeah, not only do we still love Pokemon, we are about Pokemon. Pokemon is our identity right here, and we're just going to be playing these games all the time, you know? So, I think these are important games to put relatively high in the tier list. I feel like maybe the town themes are not going to be as good as the 2 games above it. I still think they're going to be very, 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 very good. I'm like, God, I'm thinking right now, like now, maybe I should use some track names here. Like I'm thinking right now, Sunny Shore, top tier song, top tier soundtrack right there. Canalave, top tier for sure. We'll see where this lands. It might very well be S, but let's keep it. Let's start it here. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna say something a little controversial. This is still an S, but I think the OG tracks are better than the newer tracks in Heart Gold Soul Silver. Still an S. Still an S. Now, obviously, because it technically includes all of these, it's technically here. But I think of it as a different relationship than between Black and White 2 and Black and White. Because, you know, it's just kind of a bonus that all of the OG versions of these tracks exist. We're going to be focusing on the remixes. And the remixes are phenomenal. Some of them definitely exceed their original counterpart. If I can think of one off the top of my head, I'd give it to the Gym Leader theme. Like the OG Gym Leader theme, the Johto Gym Leader theme. This. Heart Gold Soul Silver version shines. Probably the OG battle theme too. Like just the OG trainer battle theme. I think that would also go to Heart Gold Soul Silver. After that, I think the nostalgia is a little too hard for me with these guys over here. We'll see what happens with those. But again, obviously, I'm not putting this a tier lower. Like, it's the same foundation at the end of the day. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. Black and White, I honestly did not love the soundtrack when I was playing it as a kid, but I think I played Black and White wrong as a kid. When I say as a kid, I mean as a high schooler. Because it was the first time I just kind of breezed through a Pokemon game, and I didn't really take it in the same way I should have. I loved the story, but like the Pokemon, the sights, the stuff to do, I feel like I didn't take that stuff in. I feel like the soundtrack, I remember not loving it that much as a kid, but now I hear some of these tracks and I think, goddamn, really good stuff. Maybe it's over this. I'm not entirely sure, though. I'm not entirely sure, so I'm going to put it here. The main reason that I feel like I want to put this in A is because I want to put this in S. The new tracks that they added to this game, goddamn. First of all, every gym had its own theme. The rival theme, oh my god, the rival theme in this game is so good. Fire Red, Leaf Green. Let's put them top of A. I'm gonna put them top of A because I'm 90% sure I'm going to. I love the remixes in these games. This could be bottom S. I'm gonna keep it top of A for now. Remixes in this game go hard. Just better versions of everything I love from Gen 1. Saying that makes me just want to put them a tier higher. I'm just gonna do that really quick. The Coliseum soundtrack in particular, top tier. One of my favorite soundtracks of all time. I think the battle themes in this game are some of the craziest things. I think the town themes in this game are some of the craziest things some of those beautiful things I've ever heard. Fennec, I don't know how to say it. Maybe my favorite town theme in gaming. There are like 5 to 10 different battle themes in here. I could say, yeah, that's one of my favorite songs. Like, God, the semifinal battle theme, the boss battle theme in XD, the Mirror B battle theme in XD. I love the soundtracks of this game to death. X and Y. I'm gonna put X and Y bottom of A. I'm gonna be realistic and I'm gonna put X and Y bottom of A. Part of me wants to put it a little higher. X and Y has some of my favorite tracks in the entire series. Lumio City, and then some of the later route themes, top tier. Some of the best tracks in all of Pokemon. I think overall, though, I think it's going to be really good. I don't think it's going to be probably closer to B, but I think the standouts go so hard to where I want to put it higher. Yeah, I guess we'll see how that goes. There are some themes I know I don't like in this game. Like, I do not like the champion theme in this game. I think this is the first champion theme that kind of blows. Oras. Mega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. We really are just kind of putting all the remakes together. The tracks sound very similar to their OG counterparts, which makes them a bit less interesting, I'll say. But I know there's still some nice mixes in here. If a track in a remake just feels like, oh, it's just this again, then I'm probably not going to feel as strongly about it, and I'm probably going to overall rank it a bit lower. Which is why both of these soundtracks, like Fire Red and Leaf Green and Heart Gold and Soul Silver, had a chance to shine because, like, obviously, we're taking our Game Boy sounds and we're really revamping them. The jump between this and this is not going to be as great. But, again, I just prefer the OG for Gen 2 so much that it's still going to live up there. So, yeah, something like this. Something like this. I still think it's going to be S, though, because, again, it's just still just such a good soundtrack. Sun and Moon. Let's go B. Sun and Moon's got some slapping route themes. Sun and Moon's got some slapping battle themes. We got 10 Carat Hill. So it's got some cool those themes. We got Gladion's theme. We got the Island Challenge like theme. The Island Trial theme, which is really good. My problem is I feel like I don't remember the themes well enough overall. The same thing with X and Y, kind of, I will admit. But I do remember, like, you know, I liked the highlights, but I remember not liking the rest of the game as much. Oh, God, maybe we do this. Honestly, I feel like we do this. A-. We'll clean this up at the end, too, guys. Let's go Pikachu Eevee. I feel like, again, for as much as I like these remixes, I feel like they're probably just going to be just as good as the OGs. I do remember them being particularly nice, though. Here's where I start being a little mean. Sword and Shield. B. B for Sword and Shield, which kind of stands for bad when it comes to Pokemon. Again, great battle themes. I liked the first town theme. I liked Motostoke a lot. I liked the first... I think the grass gym area had a good theme. Remember, the water gym area did not have a good theme. Winden had a good one. Honestly, I feel like it's more of a Siege soundtrack with some, like, S-tier battle themes, which makes me put it in B, honestly. BDSP. At the end of the day, it is just this stuff. It's probably basically the same, right? Just missing some platinum stuff, maybe, so... But I guess that's the thing. It's like, if the remixes I feel like the remixes don't do enough, then I feel like that's also a problem, you know? This, I feel like I remember it not doing that, you know? So we'll see. Let's rank Scarlet and Violet before I rank Arceus, because it's probably easier. I think that's probably also B. Honestly, I'll say this. Scarlet and Violet, yes, there are some really good battle themes in that game, but I think there are less good battle themes than in Sword and Shield. These are ranked within tiers, by the way. But, I'd give this a C. I would legit give this a C. If it, endgame, the whole endgame soundtrack is S. Like, if we were talking just endgame soundtrack, I'd give it an S. That's where literally some of the best songs in the series. I think Toby Fox helped with most, if not all of them, too, so let's go. Arceus, I don't know where to put Arceus. I feel like it's not that big of a soundtrack, and it's a lot of just reusing Diamond and Pearl stuff. Arceus has the new Jubilite Village theme, which is top tier, and that's the theme that you hear throughout most of the game, so honestly, 8. It has cool arrangements. I'm gonna put Legends Arceus in A, because I think the arrangements are cool, but I don't think there's enough soundtrack in here for me to really justify it to go much higher. But it is a good soundtrack, from what I remember. All right, let's see if we want to go crazier with this. S tier is looking a little big. S tier is definitely looking a little big. Maybe let's do a... S tier is looking a little big. S tier is definitely looking a little big. Maybe let's do a... Just because, here's the thing. These are relative tiers. I think Pokemon music's phenomenal. And I don't want people thinking, oh, he like hates these soundtracks. I just think a lot of them are kind of boring at this point, you know? Minus the battle themes, which are both fantastic, especially Sword and Shield. Scarlet Violet, I think we kind of do move a bit down. But Scarlet and Violet has some better area themes. There's some more variety in area themes. Scarlet Violet also has some bad area themes from what I remember, though. It has like this western-y one that just sounds like generic. Very generic. Like Western slop, and I'm just like, get it out of here, God. So, just to add some differentiation, I made some new tiers. So, in S, we have XD and Coliseum, we have Gen 2, Emerald, Ruby, and Sapphire, and then Black and White 2. Ironically enough, these are basically my favorite games in the series. I'd probably put Diamond and Pearl and Platinum also in this tier. A+, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Oras, Fire Red, Leaf Green, basically remake tier. A, we got the Gen 4 games, Black and White 1, than the OG. Then we have Legends Arceus and Let's Go Pikachu Eevee. Then we have X and Y. Honestly, looking at these now, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna swap. Because I know these are good. I know these are good. I'm gonna say A-, and I'm gonna say these. I do think Let's Go Pikachu Eevee had a good soundtrack, and I feel like I'm letting the game cloud where I'm putting it. And again, these are fine soundtracks, but... Oh, and also, fine soundtracks, and I do think the DLC adds a lot of good tracks to both games. But I think Sword and Shield is pretty tepid at some points, and I think Scarlet and Violet gets downright kind of bad at some points, even though both games do have their highlights, which we will discuss. And we will come back to this in a few months after we're done ranking every single Pokemon game in the series. And I like that this does still show my hypothesis, which is old Pokemon game soundtracks are better than new Pokemon game soundtracks. So there you go. What do you think about my predictions, guys? Do you think that I'm wrong and that new Pokemon soundtracks are better than old? Leave a comment, leave a like, because you obviously like arguing with me about these points, but let's find out together. Tune into a stream because we are going to be ranking every single Pokemon soundtrack. We're starting Gen 1, we're gonna do Gen 2, we're gonna do all these games, we're gonna rank these soundtracks. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Maybe I'm wrong and I'll eat my words. We'll find out, right, Cubone? Cubone says that a lot of the time. So anyway, oh, he fell. Shit, Cubone. For more Pokemon soundtrack stuff, subscribe to the channel, tune into a stream, twitch.tv/AloneIGrey, youtube.com/AloneIGrey. Have a good day. Listen to a Pokemon soundtrack at the opposite of your dismay. Woo!